You've been careful with your meals, maybe even cut back on desserts. So why does your waistband keep getting tighter, especially around the middle? If that sounds familiar, here's something surprising. For many people over 50, that stubborn belly isn't just about extra fat. Your liver might be quietly struggling to keep up with how it processes sugar and fat, storing more than it should. The good news? A few simple changes can often make a real difference. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through why this happens and 3 common foods that could be making it harder plus what to try instead. No quick fixes, just science you can use. Let's get started. As you age, your body undergoes subtle changes that can impact how it stores and processes energy. For individuals over 50, abdominal weight gain isn't solely a result of overeating or lack of exercise. It's often tied to shifts in metabolism and hormonal balance. One key player in this process is insulin sensitivity, which tends to decline with age, leading to increased fat storage around the midsection. Additionally, chronic stress and poor sleep can elevate cortisol levels, further contributing to this stubborn fat. Another overlooked factor is the role of gut health. An imbalanced gut microbiome can disrupt digestion and nutrient absorption, promoting inflammation and weight retention. Even seemingly healthy foods, like certain grains or artificial sweeteners, might exacerbate bloating or insulin spikes. To address this, focus on whole, nutrient-dense foods, prioritize probiotics, and incorporate stress-reducing practices like mindfulness or moderate exercise. Small, consistent adjustments can yield significant, sustainable results over time. If you've noticed your waistband getting tighter despite eating carefully, especially around the middle, you're not alone. Many of my patients come to me with the same concern. They're doing what they've always done, but their belly just won't budge. Here's what I tell them. Often, this isn't just about extra fat. Your liver, that hardworking organ tucked under your ribs, might be quietly struggling to keep up with how it processes sugar and fat. Over time, when it gets overwhelmed, it starts storing fat itself, a common but often overlooked shift after 50. The good news? Small, steady changes can make a real difference. No quick fixes, just science you can use. Let's get started. This is one of the most common concerns I hear from patients in their 50s, 60s, and beyond. And it's usually manageable with a few thoughtful tweaks, not fear or drastic measures. As a doctor, I see this every day. Bodies change with age, and what worked before may need gentle adjusting now. The liver, which once handled sugar and fat with ease, starts working a little slower as metabolism naturally shifts. Muscle mass declines, and the same habits like that extra slice of bread or occasional soda can hit harder. But here's the hopeful part. The liver is incredibly resilient. With the right approach, many people notice a softer, less stubborn belly over time. You might wonder, how do I know if this is more than just weight gain? A few gentle clues: a firm or bloated upper belly, especially after meals, feeling unusually tired after eating, or waking up sluggish even after a full night's sleep. Of course, only a doctor can check your liver health properly. Simple blood tests or imaging can give clarity, but these signs may suggest it's time to reassess what's on your plate. Let's talk about 3 everyday foods that, for many people, quietly add to the liver's load. First, sugary drinks and hidden fructose sodas, sweetened juices, even that drizzle of syrup in your coffee. The liver processes fructose, and too much can lead to fat storage. Try swapping to water, herbal teas, or whole fruit instead. Second, refined white carbs, white bread, pastries, and many packaged snacks. Ease breakdown quickly into sugar, asking the liver to work overtime. Whole grains, beans, and vegetables are kinder alternatives. Third, fried foods and heavily processed fast food along with alcohol, which the liver prioritizes breaking down. Opt for home-cooked meals with gentler cooking methods like baking or steaming, and more plants. What helps? A simple daily rhythm, protein and fiber at meals to steady blood sugar, a short walk after eating to aid digestion, staying hydrated, and prioritizing sleep. Patience is key. Give it weeks, not days. And if you notice yellowing skin or eyes, swelling, persistent pain, or unexplained weight loss, see your doctor promptly. Otherwise, trust that small steps add up. Your liver often responds beautifully to consistent care. Try one tweak this week, and as always, check with your own physician, especially if you're curious about liver health tests. You've got this. You know that stubborn belly that seems to grow no matter how carefully you eat. The one that feels different, firmer, fuller, especially around your midsection after 50. For many of us, it's not just about extra fat. There's something deeper happening inside, and it often starts with your liver. This hard-working organ does far more than you might realize. It's your body's main processing plant for everything you eat, especially sugar and fat. Normally, your liver breaks down sugars and fats, uses what it needs, and stores the rest efficiently. But over time, especially as we age, it can get overwhelmed. When the liver can't keep up, it starts storing excess fat right inside its own tissue. Think of it like a storage unit filling up. This is sometimes called a fatty liver, and while it's often reversible with small changes, it can contribute to that firmer, rounder belly that just won't budge. Here's why: as fat builds up in the liver, it can trigger mild inflammation and slow down metabolism even more. So instead of just carrying extra padding under the skin, your belly may feel more solid because of what's happening beneath the surface. This doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It's simply how bodies change after 50. Metabolism naturally slows, muscle mass declines, and the liver isn't as quick at processing what you eat as it once was. The same habits that never caused issues before may now lead to this subtle shift. The good news? The liver is incredibly resilient. Small, steady changes can help it lighten its load, starting with 3 foods that might be quietly making things harder. Try one tweak this week, and as always, check with your own physician, especially if you're curious about liver health tests. You've got this. You know how after 50, it can feel like your body suddenly plays by different rules? That snack you used to enjoy without a second thought now seems to settle right around your middle. It's not just in your head, it's biology. Here's why. Around this age, your metabolism naturally slows down. Think of it like a furnace that doesn't burn as hot as it once did. At the same time, you're gradually losing muscle, about 1% per year. After 50, and muscle is what helps your body use energy efficiently. But there's another quiet shift happening. Your liver, the body's processing plant for fats and sugars, starts working a little slower too. It's like an experienced worker who's still skilled but needs a bit more time to get the job done. The trouble is, many of us keep eating the same way we did at 40 or even 30. The liver, already handling things at a gentler pace, can get overwhelmed. Instead of processing fats and sugars smoothly, it starts storing some as fat, right where you don't want it. That's why, for many people, stubborn belly fat after 50 isn't just about eating too much. It's about how your liver is managing what you eat. The good news? Small, thoughtful changes can make a big difference. Try one tweak this week, and as always, check with your own physician, especially if you're curious about liver health tests. You've got this. You know that stubborn belly that just won't budge no matter how careful you are? The one that feels firmer, more stubborn than before? For many of us over 50, that's not just extra fat. It might be a sign your liver is quietly struggling to keep up. Here's how to tell the difference. If your upper belly feels unusually firm or bloated, not just soft, that's one clue. Or if meals leave you oddly tired, even when you haven't eaten too much. Maybe mornings feel sluggish, no matter how early you go to bed. These subtle shifts can hint that your liver is storing more fat than it should, making it harder to process sugars and fats efficiently. Now, only a doctor can truly check your liver through simple blood tests or scans, but these gentle observations might be your nudge to ask. The good news? Small changes often help. So if this sounds familiar, try one tweak this week. And as always, check with your own physician, especially if you're curious about liver health tests. You've got this. Let's start with sugary drinks and hidden fructose. Sodas, sweetened juices, and syrups are packed with fructose, a type of sugar that the liver processes differently than other sugars. When you consume too much fructose, especially in liquid form, it overwhelms the liver. Instead of converting it into energy efficiently, the liver starts storing it as fat. Over time, this contributes to a firmer, fuller belly, even if the rest of your diet seems under control. The tricky part is that fructose doesn't make you feel full the way other sugars might, so it's easy to consume more than you realize. The good news? Simple swaps can make a big difference. Instead of reaching for that soda or sweetened juice, try water, unsweetened teas, or even infused water for a bit of flavor. Whole fruits are another great option because they contain fiber, which slows down how quickly the liver processes fructose. So if this sounds familiar, try one tweak this week. And as always, check with your own physician, especially if you're curious about liver health tests. You got this. Now let's talk about refined white carbs, things like white bread, pastries, and many packaged snacks. These foods act very differently in your body than you might expect. Here's why they can be tough on your liver after 50. When you eat white flour or sugar-heavy baked goods, they break down almost instantly into glucose, flooding your bloodstream. That sudden spike forces your liver to work overtime processing all that sugar. Over time, repeatedly handling these surges can lead the liver to start storing some of that excess as fat, contributing to that stubborn belly. But here's the good news. Small swaps make a difference. Instead of white bread or a morning muffin, try whole grains like oats or quinoa. They release energy slowly, giving your liver a gentler job to do. Beans and lentils are another great option packed with fiber to steady blood sugar. And don't forget vegetables, especially leafy greens, which provide nutrients without the sugar rush. The key isn't perfection. Just try one change this week. Maybe swapping white rice for brown or choosing whole grain toast. Your liver doesn't need drastic overhauls, just consistent kindness. So if this sounds familiar, try one tweak this week. And as always, check with your own physician, especially if you're curious about liver health tests. You've got this. Fried and fast foods can be a major culprit when it comes to liver health, especially after 50. These greasy, heavily processed foods are packed with unhealthy fats that your liver has to work overtime to process. When you eat fried foods like French fries or fried chicken, or heavily processed fast food like burgers or pizza, your liver gets flooded with fat. Over time, this can overwhelm it, leading to fat storage in the liver itself. This isn't just about gaining weight. It's about how your liver is handling the load. And let's not forget alcohol, which, in excess, adds another layer of stress to your liver. The good news? Small swaps can make a big difference. Instead of fried foods, try home-cooked meals using gentler cooking methods like baking, steaming, or sautéing with healthier oils like olive or avocado oil. Swap out processed fast food for meals rich in plants, think roasted vegetables, salads, or stir-fries. And if you enjoy alcohol, moderation is key. By making these changes, you're giving your liver a chance to recover and work more efficiently. So if this sounds familiar, try one tweak this week. And as always, check with your own physician, especially if you're curious about liver health tests. You've got this. If you've noticed your waistband getting tighter, despite eating carefully, especially around the middle, you're not alone. For many people after 50, this isn't just about extra fat. Your liver may be quietly struggling to process sugar and fat as efficiently as it once did, leading to that stubborn fullness. The good news? Small, steady changes can make a real difference. Start by giving your liver some gentle support. Prioritize protein and fiber at every meal. Think eggs with vegetables, grilled chicken over greens, or lentils with whole grains. These combinations help stabilize blood sugar and ease the liver's workload. After eating, take a short walk. Even 5 minutes helps your body manage glucose better. Stay hydrated. Water is your liver's best friend, and aim for consistent, quality sleep, since tired bodies store fat more easily. Progress won't happen overnight. Be patient. Your liver responds to consistency, not quick fixes. Try swapping just one less helpful food this week, like choosing whole grain toast instead of white bread. And as always, check with your own physician, especially if you're curious about liver health tests. You got this. Now, it's important to recognize when this isn't just about stubborn belly fat, when it might be something more serious that needs your doctor's attention. If you notice yellowing of the skin or eyes, that's jaundice, and it could signal your liver needs help. Swelling in your legs or abdomen, especially if it comes on suddenly, is another red flag. Persistent pain in your upper right side, just below your ribs, shouldn't be ignored. It might be your liver telling you something's off. And if you're losing weight without trying, without any changes to diet or activity, that's another reason to check in with your doctor. The good news? When caught early, many liver concerns are manageable, so don't hesitate to speak up. And as always, check with your own physician, especially if you're curious about liver health tests. You've got this. Liver issues can sometimes present in less obvious ways, so staying alert to subtle changes is key. If you experience chronic fatigue that doesn't improve with rest, it could indicate your liver is struggling to filter toxins efficiently. Dark urine or pale clay-colored stools may also point to bile flow disruptions. Easy bruising or frequent nosebleeds. Your liver produces clotting factors. If it's compromised, bleeding tendencies can arise. Mental fog, confusion, or mood swings might signal a buildup of ammonia, which a healthy liver would normally process. Even skin changes, like persistent itching without a rash, shouldn't be dismissed. While lifestyle adjustments help, many rapid or worsening symptoms demand medical evaluation. Early detection through blood tests, like ALT, AST, or imaging, can make a significant difference. So listen to your body and advocate for timely care. Trust your instincts. You know when something feels off. The liver is truly remarkable. It has an incredible ability to heal and recover when given the right support. For many people, making small, consistent changes can help it function more smoothly over time. You don't need to overhaul everything at once. Start with just one swap this week, maybe choosing whole fruit instead of juice or taking a short walk after meals. These little steps add up. And remember, your liver isn't working against you. It's doing its best to keep up. With patience and determination, notice their energy improves, and that stubborn belly begins to feel less firm. Of course, if you're curious about how your liver is doing, a simple conversation with your doctor can help. They can guide you on whether basic blood tests might be useful for checking in on your liver health. But for now, focus on progress, not perfection. Even one positive change is a win. And as always, check with your own physician, especially if you're curious about liver health tests. You've got this. Now, let's quickly recap those 3 simple food swaps that can take some pressure off your liver. First, sugary drink sodas, sweetened juices, anything with syrups or added fructose. They flood your system with sugar your liver has to process, and when it's overwhelmed, it starts storing that energy as fat. Try swapping them for water, herbal tea, or even whole fruit. The fiber in fruit slows down how fast the sugar hits your liver. Second, refined carbs, white bread, pastries, most packaged snacks. They break down into sugar quickly, and again, your liver has to deal with that surge. Instead, reach for whole grains, beans, or vegetables. They release energy more slowly. And third, fried foods and fatty fast food. They're heavy on fats your liver has to break down and store when it's already working hard. Lighter home-cooked meals, roasted or steamed dishes, and more plants can make a real difference. And if you enjoy alcohol, just be mindful. Your liver is already handling a lot. Small tweaks here can add up. And as always, check with your own physician, especially if you're curious about liver health tests. You got this. You know, when it comes to your liver making positive changes, patience isn't just a virtue. It's the pivot like this. Your liver didn't become overwhelmed overnight, and it won't reset overnight either. But here's the good news, it's listening. Every small, steady choice you make adds up. That extra glass of water instead of soda, That's a win. Choosing whole grains over white bread? Another step forward. These shifts might feel tiny at first, but over weeks and months, they give your liver the breathing room it needs to catch up. I often remind my patients progress isn't always something you'll see on the scale right away. You might notice it in how your clothes fit, or how you feel after meals, or even in your energy levels in the morning. The liver is a quiet worker, but when you treat it gently, it responds. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. Miss a day? That's okay. Just come back to those small, liver-friendly choices the next day. And remember, lasting change takes time. If you spent years with certain eating habits, expect months, not days, to let your liver find its rhythm again. But stick with it. Those small wins, they compound. And as always, check with your own physician, especially if you're curious about liver health tests. You got this. If you've noticed your waistband getting tighter despite watching what you eat, especially around the middle hairs, something that might surprise you. For many people, that stubborn belly isn't just about extra fat. Your liver could be quietly struggling to keep up with how it processes sugar and fat, leading to more storage around your midsection. The good news, small, steady changes often help. I've seen it time and again in my practice. This is especially common after 50. Our metabolism naturally slows, muscle mass decreases, and the liver doesn't work quite as efficiently as it used to. The same habits that didn't cause issues before might now lead to a firmer, fuller belly. If you're curious whether your liver might need a little support, there are gentle signs to watch. For like feeling unusually sluggish after meals or waking up tired even after a full night's sleep. Of course, only a doctor can check your liver health properly, so if you're concerned, it's worth bringing it up at your next visit. Simple blood tests can give helpful insights. The best part? Your liver is incredibly resilient. Many of my patients see improvement just by easing up on a few foods that may be adding extra work for it, like sugary drinks, refined carbs, and fried or heavily processed meals. Swap those for whole, balanced options. Stay hydrated and move a little more, and you might be surprised by how much better you feel in just a few weeks. If you've been wondering about your liver, don't hesitate to ask your doctor about checking those basic markers. Most people find that small, consistent tweaks make a real difference. And as always, check with your own physician to see what's right for you. You've got this. Aging brings changes, but simple, science-backed steps can restore comfort and confidence. It's true our bodies don't respond the same way they did in our 30s or 40s, and that's okay. What matters is understanding why these changes happen and knowing that small, manageable adjustments can make a big difference. For many people, a growing belly after 50 isn't just about extra fat. It's often tied to how your liver processes sugar and fat. The good news? Your liver is incredibly resilient, and with a few thoughtful changes, you can help it function better. Start by focusing on whole, nourishing foods, staying hydrated, and incorporating gentle movement into your day. These steps aren't about drastic overhauls, but about steady, sustainable improvements. Remember, patience is key. Give your body time to adapt. And as always, check in with your own physician to ensure you're on the right track. They can guide you further and, if needed, recommend simple tests to assess your liver health. You're not alone in this journey, and with a little care, you can feel more like yourself again.